Hello and welcome to the very first episode, the pilot episode of my new series YouTube Investigator. I'm Sam Davis, and in this series I'll investigate the problems with YouTube and its regulation of content which is uploaded to its platform every day. You might be asking, how can I make a series on YouTube where I use its platform to criticize it? Especially considering that YouTube has a very tough job and it has to regulate what Google tells me in this search is 5 billion YouTube videos uploaded every day. So how does YouTube's management fail drastically when they actually have a somewhat fair excuse of having to regulate that many YouTube videos every day? Well, in this edition of the program, I'll show you one major stuff up that YouTube still hasn't figured out. And what's so laughable about this is that it's all too easy to figure out and ultimately regulate. This problem is known as video playback. And anyone who uses YouTube on a daily basis and knows a lot about it will know this issue. However, YouTube itself seemingly doesn't know anything about it. I'd love to see if you, the viewer, could correct me on this, as I've never found any articles explaining that YouTube knows this issue and is trying to fix it. So what is video playback? Well, if you type in the search of YouTube video playback, all lowercase, all one word, you'll see a bunch of strange videos which can easily be construed or misconstrued as incredibly pornographic material on YouTube. It actually isn't overly pornographic, but it's enough to not meet YouTube's code of conduct, which they call it the community guidelines, and it's clearly not meant to be on YouTube. Video playback shows more what you'd call softcore porn and other things that still don't quite meet YouTube's community guidelines. Maybe some of these videos could be age restricted, but I guarantee you most of them wouldn't quite meet those guidelines. So why is it all that bad? I mean, these videos aren't even that pornographic, it's not that terrible, it's just video playback. Well, the problem is that anyone can upload whatever they want by simply putting in the title video playback. That is a serious issue. Now, of course, YouTube's automated bot is easily able to figure out what is heavily pornographic and they'll just delete it as it's uploaded. But there are other videos that fall through the cracks. If you look through the videos under the search video playback long enough, you'll probably eventually find something that definitely doesn't meet YouTube's community guidelines and shouldn't be on YouTube at all. So after all those sorts of videos are listed on video playback, will YouTube even ever bother to get rid of this? Who knows? Do they know about it? Surely they do. Millions of people work for YouTube. So as you can see, when you type up video playback, you get a lot of results of videos that just shouldn't be on YouTube. So will YouTube itself ever figure out that this is a huge issue on their platform? Or will they try and pull wool over people's eyes when they figure it out and say, we didn't know about this? Who knows if they do know about it or don't know about it? All I can say, it's a serious issue with YouTube, and anyone can get away with uploading whatever they want. All you do is put in the title video playback. Now to another issue that's on YouTube, and it's actually not that big an issue. However, for YouTube standards, it's very tough to regulate. There are two particular YouTube channels I quite like. One is called Shrouded and the other is called Horror Stories. These videos depict and actually show horrible scenes of death in real life. Horror Stories shows all of these as a public service announcement to the viewers to basically tell them that if you do this, you will probably die. Shrouded on the other hand, tells stories of gruesome murders in a series, Horrible Ways to Die. The thing is, I like these YouTube channels. I think they have a great public service announcement, and I think they actually have a great place on YouTube. The content creators work hard and make good content. What's the problem? Well, YouTube doesn't have an accurate classification system. So they can't classify things G, PG, MMA, R, so forth, like you do with films and television. So all you have is the 18 and older option, which any young kid can tick if they're making a new Google Plus account. That means anyone of any age can watch Shrouded and Horror Stories anytime they want. This is something that I can barely stomach even as a 19-year-old, grown up. But if I were to see this when I was younger, my goodness, it would keep me up at night. Shrouded actually did keep me up at night with its latest horror story. I recommend you only watch that if you're incredibly strong stomach and can handle something that is that gruesome. Shrouded videos depict very detailed and horrible ways in which people have died. Watch that if you can handle it. The big problem with all this is that Horror Stories and Shrouded Hand are just people like you and me trying to make a living off making videos on YouTube. So if YouTube was to have a ratings option, then they wouldn't make as much money. So what do? Well, in my opinion, they shouldn't really have it as a business. But the content is so brilliant and gives a great public service announcement to people who would do the kinds of things that the people in the videos they depict would do, that I think it would be a gross injustice of YouTube, especially a hypocritical injustice, if they were to delete these channels. Because after all, these channels exist all over YouTube. Horror Stories is probably the only one that can get away with it as much as other channels, but even Horror Stories has troubles with his videos staying up. Shrouded Hand and Horror Stories are two great YouTube channels that I recommend you watch if you have the stomach for. As for me, I'm not quite sure if they shouldn't make money or if they should make money from their practice, because after all, there's only two options: making money and letting everyone watch, or not making anywhere near as much money and having an 18 years and over age restricted option. It's a tough one to figure out. Before I go, I must tell you, yes you, pointing at you, a member of the audience watching this, that this show only has episodes uploaded when I feel that a valid topic must be investigated. I won't just make videos of this on a weekly basis, purposefully looking for things to point out. I'll only point out things that you, the audience, tell me, or that I can find that are obviously huge problems on YouTube. All I can say that it's my job to tear down that wall that YouTube puts above your eyes, especially when something is controversial or they don't want you to know about. Don't believe everything you see on this giant of a media platform. I'm Sam Davis. Thanks for watching.